right. Good morning, friends. It's just... I'm running into things here. Okay. I can do this. I can get outside with my tea. No problem. Good morning. Just a little after 7:30. I'm getting out here a little bit later than I would like. But stay put. Macy. What's on your head? I think my dog has yogurt on her head. Alright, so as you can tell, it's still actually misting out a little bit. So I'm gonna have to be careful in regards to camera and all. But I've got a dog here that's trying to make a break for it. Hold on. We are not organized this morning. So it has been a week, basically, since we've been out here. I had 2 days where I hurriedly came out for an hour to try and get some odds and ends chores that we had just backed up back here done. And that is basically today. So the reasoning for that is tomorrow we're supposed to have no rain, no misting, no anything. And because I've not been able to get out here, I have not been able to up pot our plants. And the result of that is we have some pretty substantial legginess. So let me just show you guys here. Okay, so these are the tomatillos and then tomatoes, and these are nasturtiums. These actually need to go, those need to go out, and that has happened within the last 3 days. But this is also a nasturtium here. You can see, let me see if I can get you down in here clearly. Okay, do you see these little bumps? Those little bumps are roots that are trying to form basically above ground to help strengthen this really long stalk. So, in other words, up potting these can no longer wait. They have got to be up potted. And I think I'm going to start referring to our greenhouse as a cold frame, because honestly, it functions more like a cold frame than a greenhouse. So I might start calling it the cold frame. But we have the carrot bed to deal with today. We've got, I checked on this yesterday, and it's full of carrots, but they're mostly just attracting slugs and snails at this point. The carrots are really bitter. They were sown in the fall season, so they should have technically come up for us around December and January, but we were super sick and we weren't able to get out here to take care of these guys. So the goal is to get all of them taken out. It's been a fairly good cover crop, so we don't have too much weed overgrowth in here, which is good. But we do need to get these out. Two things: we're going to get the carrots out and get the beds top dressed. If I get farther than that and I can get to the potatoes, getting those bug netted, that would be phenomenal. I actually need to plant another layer in that container. but I don't know if I'm going to get to that one. We'll have to see. We'll just see what happens. We'll get as far as we can and say thank you, Lord, that we were able to do it. So let's get started. So basically, a little bit of everything is what it kills. And I have a little bit of a surprise in this garden bed. Let me turn you around here. Okay, let's see if I can get you in here. I don't have this looped over myself very well, but okay, so right here, hopefully I can get you down there. With all that white in there, it's probably harder to see. But this is a volunteer tomato. And then down here, we've got two more. And then over in this corner, there are quite a few. And I know that those happen to be yellow pear tomatoes. So I'm just not gonna really worry about keeping those alive. Because if they live, they live. If they don't, they don't. Plus, they don't belong there. Okay, so we're gonna move on to the next bed and start filling it with a bit more dirt because its level needs to come up and needs to be top dressed as well. So let's get that going. All right, so for those of you who are wondering what I'm dusting in here, I highly recommend the Captain Jack's brand of organic pesticides. They seem to work really well, particularly on everything we seem to have here in the Ozarks. But, so for organic gardening, kills bagworms, borers, beetles, caterpillars, codling moth, gypsy moth, loopers, leaf miner, spider mites, tent caterpillars, thrips, and other listed pests. Okay, I know that garden chores like what I'm doing today, they probably seem insignificant, and to be honest, they are not. Okay, so 90% of farming, gardening, basically looks like what just happened this morning on our homestead. And to call what I'm doing insignificant this morning would be a vast understatement, because if all of that kept piling up to where I just hadn't gotten it done after even a 2 to 3 week point, it would have been more along the lines of an entire day's worth of work. And right now, in the springtime for us, this is kind of a critical time. So other things than just basic chores kind of need my attention. So it's a lot better if you just go on ahead and either do a zone chart or set aside even just 1 to 2 days a week to do things like this, because if you keep these things from piling up, you're not going to get as overwhelmed. And keeping the garden overwhelmed down is what's going to give you longevity, I guess you could say, in doing urban homesteading, farming, actual homesteading, off-gridding, whatever it is that you're looking at doing. Okay, so I want to show you something that I noticed. All right, so I'm actually gonna try and walk backwards here. We'll see how well that turns out. Not exactly known for my grace. Okay. So this bed, and we go to the next bed, and then we go to the far bed down there. Now obviously what you can see is a row of onions and garlic. Now in that bed all the way down there, the far one that we were primarily working in today, excuse me, there are some onion sets in here. They are much smaller. They are not nearly as developed. I need to get in there and fill the holes with some probably compost and manure, because onions and garlic tend to like, well, onions in particular, they like a lot of fertilizer. But turn you around here, what I primarily noticed was this. That bed, with the lack of onion, the lack of garlic, has a lot more bug encroachment. So when you're organic gardening, and let me know in the comments below if you're interested on a video about this. I'm actually considering shooting a video on some organic gardening pesticide prevention ideas that you can do relatively inexpensively. And ironically, one of those is onion and garlic, particularly if you live in an area where you get a lot of Japanese beetles, squash bugs, stink bugs. They don't like onions and garlic. So like this bed here, we call it the boat bed, but this one is filled with garlic. That was an oops in the bed, but the oops looks like it has worked in our favor, because I have seen almost no pest encroachment in there whatsoever. And right now we've kind of been dealing with some slugs and snails out here. Now this bed, this was one of our original beds. This one is primarily planted in the holes only, but even still, I had a significant reduction in pest pressure inside the bed. So I didn't worry about Captain Jacksing the top of this one, because I wasn't leveling up so much as just feeding the soil with a little bit more compost. But okay, before you Karens get on here and tell me, oh, those onions aren't gonna work, that's not a, these are torpedo onions. Okay, torpedo onions are smaller and they don't bulb as big at the base, so they are perfectly fine in the holes. All that being said, I think the plan for next year is going to be doing some cover crop with onion and garlic in all the beds, just to help take care of the pests. So if I have to, which only one of the beds is going to be dedicated to overwintered crop, and if I need to take up a section with a little bit of onion and a little bit of garlic, so be it, if it means I have less bugs in the long run. But I need to get inside and I need to get the dogs fed, get myself fed, and get out the door because I do have a day job besides our business here. So I'm gonna go on ahead and I'm gonna sign this vlog off. Guys, as always, keep it simple, natural, and essential. I'll see you on the next video. Bye.